There we are. So welcome everyone to game number 1, FreakinAndy versus Eärnur. It's not for Warlords, so let's remove the logo over here. But yeah, we're gonna do like this. We're gonna do 2x. Gonna try to catch up, probably until the Castle Age. Guys are most likely than not going to have a pretty uneventful game until that point, or alternatively, we're gonna have a pretty uneventful game until the Feudal Age. And then we'll see some towers come up, perhaps. That's something that we have seen on this map before, so I guess it makes sense for the guys to go for something like that. So, taking a look at the players and civilizations, Eärnur is playing with Spanish, while FreakinAndy is playing with Portuguese. For these players, these civilizations, Eärnur is gonna get 30% faster builders. Now, however, because the TCs already start packed on this map, and you can only unpack the TCs. I don't think the bonus over there is going to affect Eärnur because the TCs actually don't build, they unpack. Besides that, we'll also see for the Spanish, no gold cost and blacksmith upgrades, as well as 18% faster attacking gunpowder units. On top of that, we also have for Spanish, for the team bonus, it's going to be actually for team games, faster working traders or faster trading. And then for FreakinAndy civilization, well, Portuguese will get a 20% gold discount on military units. Oh, they have found each other already at the center. Nothing anybody can do over here, really. They are beyond each TC's range, so they cannot engage into a TC war, and I don't think that'll be allowed, actually. Yeah, over here, this certainly exacerbates the need to go out to the Feudal Age and potentially get the first tower up. But yeah, anyway, besides that, Portuguese will also have 10% extra HP on Navy units. And the team bonus, it's going to be pretty similar to Spanish, where it's only going to be useful in a team game in the context of this civilization's team bonus. Hey, Legend Black American. Hi, welcome. We're trying to catch up over here a little bit, because players actually started earlier, which never happens! Players usually take about 25 minutes, half an hour to get the series going, but over here I came at 18 GMT, you know, the start time for the series, and it said, yeah, the game's been going on for 15 minutes, and I'm like, what? So we are trying to catch up a little bit, but now the Feudal Age is here. We should see a tower come up for FreakinAndy, although he's got enough resources to go up to the Castle Age right away. He clicked up on 37 population, so it seems like we're not gonna see a tower at all. Which means we can keep on trying to catch up over here a little bit more until we get to the Castle Age. But yeah, that is very interesting. You know, on this map, because of how close the players start to each other at the center, usually you do see players try to make plays for towers, but I guess it's not going to be the case this time around. Hey, Turnip! Starting early? What kind of madness is this? I know, right? But we'll manage. We'll manage. We are just keeping the early stage of this game, and then by the time we jump into game number 2 or 3, perhaps, we should be completely live. Regardless, Eärnur's going out to the Castle Age now, finally, but FreakinAndy's got a very, very nice lead to the next stage by about a full minute and 4 seconds or so. But take a look at this. The outposts are coming out from Eärnur. He's been collecting stone. Both these players have been collecting stone, but FreakinAndy is the first one to get to the Castle Age, and he's gonna drop the castle over here, right next to the TC from Eärnur. And the blue player, on the other hand, well, he's still 40 seconds away, so no way he'll be able to put a stop to this castle. No way he'll be able to get a counter castle up. The only thing that I would imagine the blue player could do once he gets to the Castle Age is perhaps go for a castle drop over here somewhere up in the north. Actually, that is not good. Let me try again. Oh crap, it's not now working. But yeah, you know, just try to go for a castle up over here. Yeah, there we go. So he will be able to target the red player over here, but in the end, it's gonna go for a defensive castle. Now that's a castle that I am not the biggest fan of. Imagine the blue player managed to get a castle up over here instead. He would still be able to target the red player's TC. He would be beyond the range of the red castle. Instead, this castle doesn't really achieve much for him. I guess it protects some of the lumberjacks, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be too good. Yeah, rip fishing villagers. And speaking of fishing, both these players have been going for fishing ships quite heavily, and only now we see a little bit of Navy pressure coming up from FreakinAndy, who's got on the War Galley upgrade as well. Remember that they do get a 20% discount on the actual units and 10% extra HP, so these fire ships shouldn't really struggle against fire galleys. And that was a little bit too close, but FreakinAndy is still the only player with a fire ship left on the right hand side. Meanwhile on the left hand side was Eärnur, the one to go forward and put pressure, but couldn't do too much by the looks of it, since we still have all the fishing ships over here. Let me take a look at Eärnur's point of view. He should have tried to go after the dock. I'm not really sure what happened over there. In the end, no one will be able to fish with villages at the center anymore. I guess that is not technically true. FreakinAndy still has a little pocket over here where he'll be still beyond the range of the castle. And once again, I'm really curious about the castle location from Eärnur. If he had gone for the castle up north, what I was suggesting earlier, he would have been beyond the range of the castle from FreakinAndy. He would have been able to target the castle, the TC from FreakinAndy rather. And he would have been able to prevent FreakinAndy from collecting fish over here, so it just doesn't seem the best location to me right now. But of course, from a spectator's point of view, it might be a little bit easier to point these things out. And I imagine it's going to be significantly harder for the players to make all the right decisions in the spot. So, a little bit of slack for the players. Let's take a look at the rest of the map then. The Norse conquistadors moving over to the left hand side. He's already able to get 2 villages down. FreakinAndy doesn't seem to be paying attention over there too much. He is. He's bringing an organ gun over here to defend himself against the conquistadors. And go figure, it's actually working out pretty well. On the right hand side, the organ guns from FreakinAndy are roaming around, and he still won't be targeting any villagers, at the very least, not for the time being. Maybe it was to have the building wheels close to the TC for protection. I mean, I guess he was going to lose the TC anyway, so he was going to rely on the castle for protection. If he had brought the castle up in the north, he could have brought the villagers up to the north as well and collected from this wood lane, for instance. Or this one, perhaps. How many do we have here? It's got 12. Yeah, that's fine. Finally, FreakinAndy starts to put some pressure with the organ guns. On the right hand side, it's trying to take on the TC, and Eärnur's got 2 defensive magnets coming out already. Yes. There we go. Beautiful. Magnets go down right away. The villagers scramble over here from Eärnur, and FreakinAndy keeps on roaming around. Now he pushes the lumberjacks away. Just gotta be careful not to get within range of the castle. Oh, and a conversion on the left hand side. FreakinAndy was able to get one of the conquistadors, but Eärnur keeps on roaming around still. With 5 conquistadors, he's got more than enough units to one-shot villagers. And there we are. Is he going to go after them? He's not. Okay, there we go. He's going after this. Gotta be careful though. These conquistadors are not very high HP, and 2 go down to a single TC volley. Amazing stuff. There we go. Castle on the way now. Eärnur. Back home, that's gonna be the second castle. Doubling his conquistador production potential, but so far he's struggled to take advantage of these units. He's the player to have lost the most eco units so far. A bunch of villages going down around the wood line, around the castle too. And potentially he's gonna start losing on some, yeah, there we go. Some of the fishing ships I was going to say, but also we have some lumberjacks over here on the mangrove, so he's also getting pushed away from that. Definitely the Wu player is the one falling behind right now. If you take a look, there we go. At the worker count, Eärnur is a little bit ahead, yes, by about 3. He was able to take several of the fishing ships down on the left hand side from FreakinAndy, so that helps. But he's significantly behind in military count, and FreakinAndy's unit is going to pack quite the punch. So if FreakinAndy goes forward with like 10 organ guns or so, maybe even more than that, Eärnur doesn't really have anything to defend himself against that. A few conquistadors won't cut it, and Magnus we already saw. FreakinAndy's just going to take down, no problem as well, especially with these numbers. So here he comes again, on his own, going down the only road he's ever known, going for a castle forward, and that's gonna put him in a very nice spot. If we take a look at the range of this castle, he'll be able to push villagers away from stone, thus potentially prevent Eärnur from getting another castle up. And he'll end up also pushing villagers away from the wood. Now this is good though. Eärnur might be able to get some villagers down, but he's gotta be careful. The organ guns over there are still outnumbering the conquistadors, and this is not good. But Eärnur's bringing some villagers over. He's gonna try to fight. He's got Spanish, but no supremacy yet. So these villagers are just run-of-the-mill vills. And he's using these to go after the organ guns. No wonder FreakinAndy is just going to turn around and take the villagers down. He's done so for a lot of these. Now I see a conversion coming out from FreakinAndy as well. In the end, he doesn't like getting pushed away from the castle foundation, but he's gonna go for another one up in the north. Just where he spots Eärnur going for a TC foundation himself as well. The conquistadors get either converted or decimated. Hey, Mr. Whitebeard. I just finished watching Yo vs. Shadow. And what a great series. That was an amazing series. Were you watching on YouTube or were you watching on Twitch? Let me know. Twitch. Interesting. I was taking a look at the VOD library from Twitch the other day, and some people are using it. Not a whole lot of people, but some people are using it. On YouTube, viewership is much higher. So it seems like, yeah, we're gonna still use the platforms for what they're best at, right? Twitch for live streaming and YouTube for VODs. I mean, I'm still going to have the Twitch VODs, but yeah, I'm not gonna be making, or I'm not gonna be taking the time to make thumbnails for those, or to upload the thumbnails for those, but certainly for YouTube. Yeah, there we go. The castle coming up over here. Eärnur cannot keep on going anymore, so FreakinAndy won, Eärnur nil. Let's take a look at the achievements really quickly because we have to go back and jump into game number 2, hopefully. 4 to 3 KD ratio for FreakinAndy, like exactly. For economy, we have a stronger economy for FreakinAndy as well, which is great for him. Ended up collecting about 2,000 extra resources, more like 1,800 extra resources. And for villagers, a higher villager max count for FreakinAndy as well. He was looking mighty strong this game. Sorry about that. I'm not really sure why transition didn't work. There we go. And once again, just 2x, just to try and catch up slightly. So yeah, I'm very curious about that because every time that I stream, when the stream is over, I go through the VOD and chop it off into individual series so that the highlighted series do not expire. Right, and then I build a library like that. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you might not be aware of the Twitch library, but if you go to my Twitch channel and do !VOD in the chat, or if you just go to twitch.tv/novaev/videos, you will find a repository of series and tournament collections with all the series that I cover live ever. So those videos will never expire, and those are available on Twitch significantly earlier than they are available on YouTube because I have to take the time to make thumbnails for YouTube and descriptions and all of that. So usually it takes probably about 4 days to a week for a video to go up to YouTube. I think that's currently the delay. It might actually get lower in the future. But it's never going to be as immediate. It's always going to be at the very least 24 hours after the stream. While on Twitch, usually like an hour, 2 hours after the stream is over, the VODs are available over there for anybody who's watching this on YouTube. And if you're interested, go and do that as well. Check it out. Grump! Dude! Hey, dude! Thank you so much for the resub. 16 months in a row as well. That is a long time to support the stream, and I appreciate it very much. I hope you're having a good time today. How's it going? Stream? I just go to keep watching. Okay, that works too. Yes. That would basically be the stream VOD, I believe. Good, all good. Great to hear. Fantastic. And Argentina still alive after a loss against Saudi? I think so. Yesterday there was a match between Mexico and Poland, I think. The other two teams in the group, right? And that was a draw, so I think still alive, but I saw the highlights. I didn't actually watch the games. I just went to bed early. Not early, sorry. I went to bed super late. I went to bed to like 5 a.m. And the game started at beautiful sea towers over here, by the way, from Eärnur. Fantastic. And the game started 7 a.m. in Argentina. So I went to bed at 5 a.m. and I just, you know, got woken up by my neighbor screaming goal so many times. And I just had a very poor night's sleep. But I didn't watch the match, I just saw the highlights the next day. Very close offside calls. Cheers to my baby Eärnur. I remember when I taught him how to play. Yeah, well, student becoming the master now, I would imagine. Eärnur is certainly looking pretty good over here, at the very least for the time being. So what do we have for the bull player? First off, he's the first guy to start going for the sea towers over here, which give him a very good amount of map control. If you take a look at the range of these, that's going to be an area where FreakinAndy won't really be able to pursue water, at the very least not comfortably, because each of these towers is going to have 9 bonus damage against ships. So the Navy water over here, or the Navy battle over here, should be favoring Eärnur for sure. And he's gotten a villager down already. A few villagers down, actually. At this point in time, the game's looking very darn good for Eärnur. And we'll see if he'll be able to keep up with this, because usually we see when players have this much elo difference, as is the case for both these guys, even when the underdog begins on top, it's not a guaranteed victory, even if the lead is quite substantial like right now. We have oftentimes see players, you know, on the back foot in this position, come back into the game in later stages. And FreakinAndy, for instance, is going to be the first to the castle edge by quite a lot. So, because he's got some over here, some dogs, if he's able to get a good amount of units out, once we see the castle age arrive, and once we see the war galley upgrade, finish researching as well, he can out garrison fire ships versus fire galleys, demolition ships against fire galleys as well, and overall castle navy versus field navy, and that can be really good. On the left hand side though, Eärnur is going for extra sea towers. It's gonna be 3 over here, and he's trying to surround FreakinAndy effectively. He's been able to do it down the south, and then on the left hand side, he's trying to go for it. Was it being confusing seeing the result and then remember all the goal screaming? Yes, it was. So oh, that is a good shot! That is a great shot from FreakinAndy, and this is not the best for Eärnur. He needed to respect the prospects for demolitions, and oh my lord, that could have been a huge shot over there. Why wouldn't FreakinAndy detonate the demolition ship manually over there? Seems to be a wasted chance. Wasted opportunity, but yeah. I was saying he needed to respect the prospect for the war galley upgrade, demolition ships and fire ships, and he didn't. He didn't scatter the units, so he paid the price. And now FreakinAndy's got into the castle age. He's behind by about 5 workers, but he might end up getting full water control, which would allow him to get more fishing ships out. And we'll see how this plays out. Taking a look at resources, FreakinAndy is actually dangerously close to having enough resources to go up to the Imperial Age, while Eärnur not even close, nowhere near yet. Not on his radar. Not even close. Daddy Eärnur, teach them how to respect. We'll see. He started very strong this game, but now it's not the best, and that's some good demo shots from FreakinAndy. And Eärnur is still on the lead for military and economy count. Both players ahead compared to FreakinAndy. But it seems like this might be about it. Well, we have the War Galley upgrade now for both guys, so Eärnur at the very least is able to catch up to FreakinAndy for technology, and he's still, because of the higher amount of Navy units, has the lead, especially because of the sea towers too, so it's going to be warships over here from the castle age from both these guys, and sea towers for Eärnur only, and not so much for FreakinAndy. So if Eärnur plays his cards right over here and does not get baited into the docks from FreakinAndy, and he just tries to hold close to the sea towers over here, he should be in a good spot. Nice transport ship snipe over there. Eärnur's gonna be the only player left with the transport ships. He's the only player who's made a play for the center so far. The few lumberjacks over there in the monk. Another sea tower on the way for Eärnur. He's been doing such a good job over here. And another one up in the north. Effectively, he's just trying to surround FreakinAndy, and it seems like he's gonna be able to do it. This can be absolutely huge. If Eärnur is able to take this dock down, that'd be amazing, because FreakinAndy will have one half of his economy, right? One of the islands over here completely exposed, and then if we see Eärnur bring a few war galleys, he can start putting pressure from the shoreline. But of course, with FreakinAndy getting to the Imperial Age in the next 5 seconds or so, he'll get access to fast fire ships, and that can make a huge difference. Fast fire ship, the only upgrade he's going for right now, he's got the 10 fire ships right now, is going to scale so much better against Castle Age units compared to, let's say, fire ships against Feudal Age units, right? So this is a huge turning point for FreakinAndy. And honestly, man, Eärnur has been saving resources to go up to the Imperial Age himself, and he's falling behind the military count. I mean, it's the same for military count for both these guys, but for Navy, it's better for FreakinAndy. He's got 9 fire ships versus 7 fire ships over here, and very soon. And right now, those are fast fire ships, and take a look at this! Take a look at that, he's so close actually. I think the fast fire ship might actually have taken a lot of damage over there, but I want to see one come out and fight the full HP. One, just so you can see how strong it is. Well, that is not very good unit control for FreakinAndy, mind you. Although that one was a good demo shot. And more fast fire ships on the way from the left hand side. And from the south, now he's going after the sea towers. And these are so tanky as well. Higher HP. That he's actually able to tank the sea towers, and he'll be able to clean this up. This is huge. Fast fire ship just makes such a big difference. Castle's coming up at the center for Eärnur. You know, the center necessarily doesn't really matter quite as much on this map, because the neutral golds are surrounded by water. So if you get water control over here, even if you never get to the center, even if you never get center control fully, so long as you're the only player with access to the extra golds, you're still going to be in a good spot. So water control over here is, I would say, significantly more important compared to a map like Migration, for instance, where center control is going to be so instrumental. Yeah, so far, you know, FreakinAndy ended up cleaning up. That is not good. What is he doing? Please do not try and garrison villages over there. Try to repair it first. Yes. Yeah, he's just trying to use the transport ship over to send villages over to the center. Well done. Down the south, seems like FreakinAndy is getting water control once again. He ended up cleaning up all the sea towers already from Eärnur, and he went for his own sea tower over here, so it's good for the red player now. As soon as he gets the castle up, he'll be able to go for trebuchets. I think Eärnur should already know about the castle foundation, because in monks he does. He's going for fast fire ship himself as well, and he should be the first player to go for a trebuchet over here from this castle. For sure. There you go. Oh man. Beautiful side. Just tied to behold right there. Isn't it? Fantastic. Dude, the castle's taking so long to come up, and Eärnur, he's got the first trophy, but he's just not targeting this yet. Why? Okay, there we are. Seems to struggle to keep up with everything that's going on right now a little bit. Well, certainly seems to be the case. Second trophy on the way. Meanwhile, FreakinAndy's got no traps at all. He's out of gold. FreakinAndy has ran out of gold. Meanwhile, Eärnur is collecting gold from the north, northeast. Yeah, and indeed, FreakinAndy's got no gold on the left-hand side. He's got no gold down the south. And he will have to make a play for one of the neutral ones at the center. Yes. There we are. Fantastic. Oh man, this is really good. FreakinAndy. And take a look at that. Once again, the fast fire ships, they are just so strong. So if you get water control even, if your opponent's got some fortifications around the golds, you might end up just pushing them away. Obviously, if Eärnur had gone for a castle over here, he should be in a much better spot, and these fast fire ships would still not be strong enough. But yeah, against the TC, they do not really struggle too much. FreakinAndy ends up losing the castle at the center. I don't think he cares about it too much. He's gonna start collecting right now some gold from the southwest gold. If he ends up getting full water control, it's not going to matter if he does not have any fortifications up around the golds, so long as he's able to clean these up from Eärnur. There we go. Nice raids over here. Naval raids from FreakinAndy getting the score lead. And oh boy, Eärnur is now kind of trapped up in the north. Very similar to what seemed to be the case on the left-hand side from FreakinAndy earlier. Now Eärnur is trapped up in the north, and yeah, FreakinAndy. He tried to make a play for a condo landing at the center, but Eärnur spotted this before FreakinAndy was able to actually get too many buildings up. So the barracks are going down, and Eärnur should be able to hold on to the center. Should be able to win that. Oh man. It's actually going to end up losing the TC over here. FreakinAndy's gonna be the one taking this down. Take a look at that production. It's got 20 fast fire ships compared to only 6. Without access to this gold, Eärnur is kind of out of the game. You live, you learn, right? I guess next time around, we won't really be seeing players going for TCs over here if you don't have water control. A castle over here would have been so much stronger. So now, Eärnur, yes, he's saving the villagers. He's moving over to the center, but he does not have access to gold. Without access to gold, he won't be able to keep on going for fast fire ships. Without fast fire ships, he's going to end up losing water control. Without water control, there is no way for him to get back on gold whatsoever. This is good though from Eärnur on the left-hand side, the one Condottiero. And a bunch of villagers down. Yeah, and that'll be about it. So far, so good. Eärnur's been able to go for a few extra fast fire shifts. Now he's outnumbering FreakinAndy up in the north, but this is just locally. If you take a look at the total amount of units, FreakinAndy is still definitely the one on the lead. Oh man, but this has been fantastic. Eärnur pushes FreakinAndy out of goal, but now both these guys are out of it. Because Eärnur is the only player with access to stone, he's gonna be the only guy with the possibility of going for a castle. One of the extra golds. But he's not done so just yet. He's got enough resources to go for a castle. If he can go for one, like let's say over here, or up in the north, probably over here where the TC used to be, and then secure access to gold once again, that's going to put Eärnur in a good spot. Meanwhile, FreakinAndy with that access to gold over here, cannot really keep on going for more fast fire ships, and it seems like both these players are kind of screwed up. Was FreakinAndy on significantly extra fast fire ships and pushing Eärnur away from gold over here once again, and Eärnur on the other hand with a higher worker count, although a much higher idle villager count. However, the only player with a... Yes, there we go! This is what I wanted to see from Eärnur! The only player with the possibility of getting a castle up because of the stone count, because of the center control. If he's able to get this castle up over here now, he'll be able to guarantee gold income. But FreakinAndy this here with the zone condottieri, and he's going after the villagers right away, so these villagers will crumble. Oh yes. Ah, the slaughterhouse. The absolute slaughtering over here is gonna be enough for Eärnur to call a GG. As FreakinAndy ends up taking game number 2, getting the lead 2-0 over here against Eärnur. We'll take a look at game number 3, but it could very well be the last one of the series. It's gonna be match point already. For military, a better than 3 to 2 KD ratio for FreakinAndy. For economy, a stronger economy for FreakinAndy as well. And for society, a higher worker max count for Eärnur, as well as a higher villager current count at the end of the game for Eärnur as well, although he ended up losing significantly more workers compared to FreakinAndy, with about 35 villager losses for FreakinAndy throughout the game, and Eärnur on the other hand ended up losing 73. Damn. He got very close to potentially taking the game over there a few times, but FreakinAndy was just too strong. Alright, and in game number 3 we are. Given this is a best of 5 and FreakinAndy is already on the lead 2-0, this is match point already. Eärnur and FreakinAndy will both share the same civilization, Bulgarians. Which means both these guys will get a food discount on blacksmith and siege workshop upgrades. Both these guys will get, in addition to that, access to crep post. We'll see for both these players also free militia line upgrades, which is, I would imagine, the main reason they would go for this civilization over here, so they can go for militias early on, and then once they get to the field age, they become men at arms right away. In addition to that, we'll see for the team bonus for Bulgarians, 80% faster working blacksmiths, and that'll be about it. I think Eärnur actually ended up taking the Jaguar down with the TC over there by accident and up in the north. Although I'm not 100% sure. And up in the north, it seems like he's been collecting some of the Jaguars. He's collecting some more. Oh, he forgot about one of the villages. Let's actually go back over here 30 seconds. Oh, man. And the body is there already, so he was struggling. And you know what? This is about the same time, because let's go 1x. He loses a villager over here to the Jaguars, right? Now he's going to try and go after the Jaguars once again. He's got to be careful not to take them down because of the food. And then on the left-hand side, I think that's about the same time. Yes, he was trying to lure 2 at the same time. So that is why. You see? Going back once again. Oh no, he did end up collecting from this one. I thought he had taken it down with the TC. So he sent the villager up in the north. And he forgot about this one after having taken the Jaguar over here. He was paying attention elsewhere. Going for the lumber camp over there by the looks of it. Yeah, this is really bad. And he was targeting each of these manually by the looks of it. I'm not really sure about that. Yeah, and he just couldn't do it on time. He just couldn't got he just couldn't get the foundation up on time. So let's keep on trying to catch up. FreakinAndy, on the other hand, is in a much better position, of course. He's not lost a single villager just yet. And if you take a look at the idle TC time, it is going higher for FreakinAndy, mind you. So the worker count's about the same right now. So really got in about 35 seconds of extra idle TC time compared to Eärnur. So that's gonna help the pool player. Gotta be careful. Beautiful. Let's go over to the center. And we'll see both players start collecting from the fish, although FreakinAndy was there a little bit earlier. So far, neck and neck, of course, but FreakinAndy being the first player to get into the Fuel H and being the first player with a barracks up, is going to start pumping Minotaurs right away. And if we take a look at this line of sight, then we're going to go back to 1x playback speed, don't worry, as soon as we get some action over here. But taking a look at his line of sight, he doesn't really know where Eärnur is, so he's trying to find him. Notice, he's roaming around just trying to... And there we go, now he finds the barracks. And now let's go back to 1x because FreakinAndy's putting a lot of pressure over here. Might end up getting a villager down. The quick bolts from Eärnur will save one villager, but not both. So this woman goes down right away to the Minotaurs. Meanwhile, there's a tower on the way for FreakinAndy as Eärnur is still waiting 35 seconds before he gets to the Fuel Edge himself. So at this point in time, FreakinAndy is taking one villager down. Eärnur's lost two because of the one he lost to the Jaguars earlier. There we go. Fantastic. Beautiful. Tower gets denied over here by the Minotaurs from Eärnur. And the game all of a sudden starts looking a little bit better for the blue player. Because FreakinAndy's been struggling to keep the TCs working all the time. Eärnur is now actually ahead in worker count. And FreakinAndy is struggling to defend all the units he's got over here. The archer goes down to the Minotaurs. That shouldn't happen ever. But Eärnur is clutching it up over here. If he can keep this momentum, this is going to be huge. With 3 Minotaurs on the left-hand side of the center. And his economy, his fishing economy, completely safe up in the north after cleaning up FreakinAndy's units. Now it's Eärnur the one putting pressure. FreakinAndy behind for military and for worker count. If Eärnur ends up taking game number 3 over here, we're gonna have a 4-game series guaranteed. And it's just amazing. Hey Rosa. Hi, welcome. Hope you're doing alright. Beautiful, there we go. There you are. Blacksmith now on the way for FreakinAndy as well. Fantastic, but Eärnur already had it. He's gone for scale mail armor. And his Minotaurs right now are stronger compared to FreakinAndy's. They are more numerous as well. And they are deadlier, putting pressure down the south. FreakinAndy might end up losing a bunch of villas over here. So far, one's gone down. And so far this game, FreakinAndy's taken the most villager losses despite the fact that Eärnur ended up losing one to Gaia over there. So it's been pretty difficult for the red player to keep up. And Eärnur's done a really good job. And once again, if you can keep momentum over here, we might end up getting a 4-game series and perhaps even a full series. Can you imagine a reverse sweep from Eärnur? That'd be, I would say, absolutely unexpected given just how good FreakinAndy's been playing. You know, these last couple of years, Eärnur, with this tournament, it's the first time that I hear about the Bull player, and it's been a pleasant surprise. Certainly an interesting finding, an interesting discovery, and certainly a player to keep an eye on in the future. But yeah, FreakinAndy you would still probably favor in the matchup, so Eärnur getting game number 3 over here would be absolutely fantastic. Now, we have archers coming up from FreakinAndy. He's got a larger amount right now. He's got 4 archers over here. He's gotta be careful. There we are. Beautiful. The archers will go down or get pushed away. And FreakinAndy shouldn't really be able to keep on collecting from the center. He's got just a 1 worker, so that about checks out. There we go. Castle is on the way now for Eärnur as well. So much earlier compared to FreakinAndy, who doesn't seem to have anywhere near enough resources to go up. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised to see FreakinAndy call the GG as soon as Eärnur gets to the castle age. Take a look, we already have 17 extra workers for Eärnur, despite FreakinAndy only losing 11 villagers. He's struggled to keep the TCs working. 12 minutes and a half of idle TC time, and he's got no villagers queued up whatsoever. He's not really been able to afford villagers at all before. Just trying to go all out over here on military production, but he's not really been able to get too many units out anyway. And scouts are not going to do particularly, yeah, you know, they're not going to do well against Men-at-Arms, given the huge number difference that we have in favor of the Men-at-Arms player. Up in the north, the archers are coming over from FreakinAndy though. 2 villagers going down, might end up losing a lot of extra villagers. The Bull player over here still ahead though. FreakinAndy's behind the score. He's behind by 1 age. He's behind the worker count. And as soon as Eärnur gets to the castle age, FreakinAndy goes on to call a GG. And the Ecuatorian Rising Star takes game number 3 from FreakinAndy to make this a much more interesting series as well. We're gonna have a fourth game over here. So going through the achievements, we'll see for military, a stronger KD for FreakinAndy. Neither of these players with a particularly strong KD. Both players are less than 1-to-1. So Guy has been strong this game. For economy, a stronger economy for Eärnur, just barely though. So the fact that he was able to get only 33 extra resources and still go up to the castle age earlier, end up on a higher worker count as well, get a better KD as well. These are the things that really give him the lead, not so much the economy, right? So of course, Eärnur in the end ends up taking this one 2-1, still favoring the FreakinAndy player over here, the red player. So let's go back and wait for it. I don't think we're gonna have to wait though, because we were already kind of behind jumping into the series. I would imagine the game's probably already on the way, the 4th one. Let's take a look. And there we are. And over here, we're gonna go 2x. Try to catch up once again. I think this is the game where we finally catch up to fully live gameplay. For Eärnur, it's gonna be playing Berbers, which makes sense. FreakinAndy's playing with Mongols. You are expecting, at the very least, one of these players to go for Mongols because of how much hunting is available up in the northwest. Over here at the very beginning, we're gonna have 6 boards available for the players to collect, and it seems like FreakinAndy is going to end up getting 5 out of 6 because Eärnur only was able to get, okay, 4 out of 6 because Eärnur is going for the second one and there are no boards left at the center. So this is FreakinAndy, a player who's played so much Black Forest and doesn't really struggle to... Oh, my lord, though! The scout's going down from Eärnur over there. Just a tragic loss for the blue player. Now, FreakinAndy scout, both these scouts over here. Why would he take this engagement, though, in the Dark Age when the scouts are not anywhere near as strong? What? And he deleted one of the scouts? Or is that a poisonous punch from the villager of Eärnur? just landed a punch against the scout and poisoned it. In the end, the orange player ends up losing this one. Let me go back once again, though. Why did the scout go down over there? That's gotta be a misclick from FreakinAndy. What is going on here? Take a look at that. Take a look at that. Takes the villager down. Walks away. Yeah, what do I need you for? Rip. Anyway, let's keep on trying to catch up. And yeah, I'm not really sure why you would take the engagement in the Dark Age when with Mongols you're almost guaranteed to get to the fuel age faster and your scouts are going to be stronger. I guess taking one villager down now might be better than taking two villagers down in the future, right? But I would imagine with the amount of with the extra strength of FreakinAndy's villagers, sorry, scouts, once he got to the fuel age, he would have been able to get more than two villagers if he played his cards right, but it would have been also like not guaranteed damage, I guess. The villager earlier was kind of guaranteed damage, it was isolated. And at the center we see Eärnur pushing FreakinAndy away. Oh, villager goes down for FreakinAndy. Villager goes down for Eärnur over there. Let's go back to 1x now as we have a lot of action here. Oh man, I just love this map. It's so good. Alicia's coming out right now for FreakinAndy as well. He's gonna be the only player getting to the fuel age anytime soon, while Eärnur is still about 5 villagers ahead, which is about as much as you should be ahead by if you are behind to the fuel age, right? Completely. But this might not stay like this for much longer. Eärnur, he'll be the first player to go for fishing ships as well. So it's gonna be the first player going for water. Meanwhile, FreakinAndy gets to the fuel age right now. And you see, if he had both these scouts, can you think of the difference that would have made against Eärnur's villagers over here if FreakinAndy still had both scouts alive? Amazing. Villager goes down. Yes, sir, from FreakinAndy. Eärnur is going to end up losing a few villagers over here himself as well. So far, better EQKV for FreakinAndy 7-4. He's still behind by about 5 workers. 6 workers now. He ended up losing another villager. And Eärnur is actually getting away with a lot of extra damage. All of a sudden, EQKV is favoring the blue player, as he lost 5 workers and FreakinAndy ended up losing 7. Actually, what am I doing? What am I talking about over here? Eärnur ended up losing 7. He got 5 villager kills, and FreakinAndy ended up losing 1 additional villager compared to Eärnur. So I think that might have been to the maybe to the boar lures earlier. But yeah, you know, Eärnur doesn't seem like he'll have enough resources to go out to the to the field age anytime soon. And FreakinAndy. Well, FreakinAndy doesn't really have a particularly strong economy. By the way, completely forgot to switch the player color over here. Sorry about that. Now it's a little bit more visible. But yeah, FreakinAndy is just completely out of resource over here for food. He's not really able to go for any extra military units. So Eärnur might be able to get center control over here, although both these players have been collecting deer for quite a while. It seems to me like this is going to stabilize for the most part at most. FreakinAndy will be able to just lure some of the villagers away from the center hunting over here, but that's about it. Later on in the game, Mongols start struggling against Berbers once the blue player gets access to Camel Archer. As Eärnur's unique unit will have special bonus damage against Cavalry Archer type units, which is what FreakinAndy basically banks on in later stages of the game. The red player instead is going to have to rely on Siege to act as a meat shield against Camel Archers and make the Mango Day still effective. Whistler! Bestest box. Yes! Oh, yeah! I love that. Thank you so much for the support. 5 months and the prime sub. So I always say, just give me them the Bezos blocks for sure. And eventually, we'll make up for all the money that Amazon's been stealing from us so far. And I'm hoping that perhaps with enough prime subs by Christmas, we'll have enough to repurchase the audio interface. Thanks so much for the support, Whistler. Village is finally gonna be here for Eärnur. It's got it. Is it going to make too much of a difference? Doesn't seem like it should. He's so far been the only player going for water economy. We already established he was going to be the first one to go for fishing ships. But because he was so much later to the village, now FreakinAndy's putting pressure with a fire galley over here. FreakinAndy's gone for a few scouts, so he's gonna get a few villagers down over here. This is what I was talking about. He could have done this already with the starting scouts. And especially up in the north when he was engaging with villagers against villagers, the starting scouts would have been so nice for FreakinAndy, but still. 6 versus no military for FreakinAndy, 7-1 right now for FreakinAndy and Eärnur respectively. Eco count is significantly higher for Eärnur though, so he was able to go out to the village with almost enough resources, actually enough resources right now to click out to the castle age right away. However, he's missing the buildings. Where is the second building coming up? It's got a stable and now a blacksmith. And he's just going to fast castle on a higher work account compared to FreakinAndy, who's been struggling to keep the TCs working still. This is not at all what I would have expected from the Austrian player over here. FreakinAndy is a higher level player by quite a bit. There we go, nice. Beautiful. He's a higher level player by quite a bit. Here we are. And he's struggled. He's struggled to keep the TCs working. And I don't think this might have been necessarily on purpose to try and prioritize military production. I think this might have just been the red player genuinely struggling to get enough villagers out. Beautiful. Left hand side down the south. Now it's FreakinAndy the one putting pressure. Eärnur's gonna be in the castle age very soon, and FreakinAndy's trying to juggle his economy to go out to the castle age himself too. With all the villager kills FreakinAndy's gotten so far, with all the fishing ships going down from Eärnur, and he went for so many, the blue player all of a sudden goes up to 25 eco units lost. That's going to be another one over here. I see he does not pay attention to the villager on time. That's another one biting the dust from Eärnur. But FreakinAndy is significantly later to the castle age, which means Eärnur, once he gets up, he'll be able to go for knights. He gets a 15% discount on stable units in the castle age, and he's got 2 stables over here, so he'll be able to go for knights. He's gonna be able to go for siege as well. I would love to see the blue player come forward and try to put some pressure, perhaps even a siege workshop around the hill over here will be absolutely fantastic. And he might be able to put the pressure up, take the TC down. Not fast enough to prevent FreakinAndy from getting to the castle age, but that'll still leave the red player only on 1 TC left. And now Eärnur feels the need to go for a 3rd TC. Now we know this is not necessary from the spectator's point of view. Of course, we know that he's already ahead in work count, and he's been ahead for the most part of the game. But it's going to serve for protection. It's going to serve for good protection. I probably would have preferred him to go for the TC over here instead. Maybe try to delete one of lumber camps over there and instead try to go for a TC probably around here, right? In between the wood and the stone, right there. That would have been good. There we go. So far, so good. Beautiful. Right hand side. A little bit of pressure from Eärnur. Not really gonna be able to do too much. FreakinAndy's gone for a stone wall, and then on the left hand side, we have a 30C coming out for FreakinAndy. Still would love to see a 4 siege workshop from Eärnur. He's not gone for it. And I was thinking up in the north, mainly because he's got the stables over there. And down the south, it doesn't seem like he's gonna try and put any pressure over here for the most part. He doesn't really have any military buildings. I would probably like for Eärnur to get a monastery over here so that he can defend, because FreakinAndy is putting pressure from the right hand side. Meanwhile, on the left hand side, of course, Eärnur already has up in the north his stables to go for military, so he doesn't need any defenses if he's gonna be the one on the offensive. Scanning up right now, though. He's gotta go for it. Come on, man. Go for the siege workshop. Do it! He's not going for it. No. What is he going for? Farms? I think it's farms. Oh, in the mining camp. So he's gonna try and drop a castle eventually. Well, it's good. He had to make a transition to stone at some point. I probably would have preferred for him to delay that by 1 minute and start going for a siege push on the left, but it's fine. At this point in time, Eärnur's looking stronger. For eco count. Hope we get a full set here. I'm hoping it's going to be a full set as well. I was already hoping for something longer than just 3 games, and we already got that, but a full series would be ideal. Plus, guys, remember there is another set coming up after this one. We'll be taking a look at Viper set as well after this one is over. That's gonna be an interesting one for sure. I think it's the Viper versus VV. That one took place earlier today at 12 GMT. But we are going to cover it using record the games after this one is over. So we're going to do 2 series today. By the way, if you paid attention to my Discord server, you might have noticed I actually made an event for this stream. And it's something that I am trying to get into right now as well, so that you guys know when I am streaming with anticipation. So I made the event yesterday, and yeah, if you check the Discord server, you're gonna see the events over there. And I'm gonna try to keep that up as well. I'm gonna try to keep that to keep the habit going, so that anybody who's in the Discord server will know when the next stream will be. It's always going to be following tournament schedules, but at the very least you will know for sure without having to check Wikipedia or whatever. Nice village pick over here from FreakinAndy, and then on the right hand side, Eärnur is going for a much harder push. He ends up taking 2 villages down. A lot of extra units over here for Eärnur. He's got some knights into the mix as well, but for the most part it's gonna be camels, and he's trying to breach through. We'll see if FreakinAndy realizes the balance on time. He does. He goes for another palisade. Meanwhile, on the left hand side, we see Eärnur roaming around. Yes. I thought Rex were broken. They are. But content creators have access to an early build from the next update with a fix for it. Actually, Rex are not broken. The game is currently broken. It cannot parse the Rex currently properly. So the branch, the beta branch that content creators get access to, do have that thing. There is a fix for that. in there, and eventually it's going to come up for everybody. I do not imagine it's going to take much longer for the update to be introduced. Take a look though, Eärnur. He started collecting stone some minutes ago now. He's gotten enough to get a castle up. Meanwhile, FreakinAndy is not really being prioritized in stone whatsoever. And why would you want to? With Mango Die against Camel Archers, that's not really what you want to go for, right? And Eärnur is looking so good, guys! 130 to 90 population is so much better for the blue player. The Ecuatorian racing start over here once again. Rising Star is taking on FreakinAndy, which I gotta be honest, I was expecting either a 3-0 series over here in favor of FreakinAndy or at most 3-1, but it seems like it's going to be a full series as the castle comes up now from Eärnur. He targets the TC over here in the castle. It's so much better than the siege workshop I was suggesting. But it's taking so much longer to come up, but in the end it will be good enough to take the TC down. So Eärnur, as long as he keeps on roaming around, putting pressure, should be in a pretty good spot. Wait, there's a beta branch for content creators. Need to get on that. Yes, this is for a handful of people, for tournament organizers, streamers who need to cast record the games currently with urgency. Yes, but it's not intended, of course, for the general public. Should be able to get access to it though. Yes, if you're a content creator yourself as well. Beautiful. Oh man, that is a GG castle right there if I've ever seen one. FreakinAndy lost so many villagers trying to get this one up. Even if it went up, what was he going to do? Take a look at that worker count. Almost twice now for Eärnur. Basically, FreakinAndy was gonna be completely dead after getting the castle up over there, so yeah, no wonder he ends up calling the GG. And guys, we have a 2-2 series with Eärnur taking games 3 and 4 from FreakinAndy. When it was looking like it might have been a quick one, it was looking like it might have been a clean sweep over here for the Austrian player. Now, the Ecuatorian player over here is going to equalize this and grant us a full series. And you wanted this, now you're getting it. For game number 5, we'll enable predictions as well. But for the time being, let's go through the achievements. And what do we get over there? We're going to see a 21 to 20 KD ratio for Eärnur exactly. For economy, we also have a stronger economy for Eärnur, collecting about 4,000 extra resources, 4,116 extra resources, while for society, a much higher worker count for Eärnur. Significantly so. And not only that, but of course, he was the player with the fewest villager losses. But, you know, it's very interesting to see. This is the second game in a row where we see Eärnur much better able to keep up with double TC villager production. In the end, he ended up losing 26 villagers, which is still an aggravating amount of villagers to lose to your opponent. And FreakinAndy ended up losing 30, so it's only a difference of 4 extra villagers lost from FreakinAndy. But Eärnur just strained so many villagers in this game compared to FreakinAndy. The idle TC time for the red player, check that out. It was so high, over half an hour. So bad. So, yeah, let's just go back. So we are in game number 5. A full series over here forced. But the new talent over here from Ecuador. All the way from the Americas, Eärnur on the right hand side, playing with Hindustanis. On the left hand side, instead, we have player on the rise as well, FreakinAndy. This guy has been turning heads for the best part of the last 2 years or so, and I always mention this whenever we have FreakinAndy on, but for the most part, it's going to be the first time that I ever saw this player was during the World Desert Championship back in 2020, and ever since then he's just gotten consistently stronger, consistently better. He's just unstoppable. Wait, does this end after one king dies or after all the kings die? This ends after all the kings die. So you need to kill all 3. And if you like it, man, I don't want to spoil any of the previous series, so I guess I cannot really say too much. But if you go to my YouTube channel and... oh man, I think the video is actually not up on my YouTube channel yet. There was one series where we already saw all 3 kings go down. And that was a very interesting one. That was a very interesting one, but I don't want to spoil too much, alright? And let's see, maybe this is going to be the second set where we see that. Oh, FreakinAndy! Oh, a villager goes down on the left-hand side right away. Triple TC is so much more demanding than double TC, which is already so demanding compared to single TC start. And you can already see that reflected as FreakinAndy loses the first villager over there. It's gonna struggle for resources. Yeah, these are not the best lures that I have seen up in the north, and at the center he was trying to lure at the same time, and then down the south. Down the south he's been luring as well. This is, can you imagine? Is anybody here comfortable enough with single TC start to give 2 TC start a shot and feel confident that they won't lose villagers to the boars? And is anybody here confident enough to actually give triple TC start a shot and feel confident they won't lose villagers to the boars? Because it seems so simple, but because you have to do it multiple times simultaneously, it's so difficult actually that even pro players over here, high level players, struggle to do it. Regardless though, let's go through the civilizations really quickly, starting with Eärnur civilization. It's gonna get 10, 15, 20, and 25% cheaper villages in the Dark Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages, as well as 25% faster attacking camels, and +1/+1 armor and gunpowder units. For the team bonus, they get 2 bonus damage from camel rider units like already in Hussar against buildings, while FreakinAndy with Huns instead, he's going to get 10 and 20% cheaper cavalry archers in the castle and Imperial Ages respectively. And Eärnur, be careful man over here. FreakinAndy, if he's paying attention, he can garrison over here, but he's not! Now he is! And the king's going down! Oh, 1 king dead already from Eärnur. The player's gotta be a little bit more considerate with the units over here. He cannot lose all 3. Meanwhile, on the right hand side, we have all 3 kings from FreakinAndy. What is he doing? What is FreakinAndy doing over here? Imagine a quick wall from Eärnur. Imagine a trap over here from the bull player. Oh, this just would be such a nice wall out there for Eärnur could get away with it. He's not going for it though. He's not realized. He doesn't see the kings. Anyway, yeah, and that's going to be it for the civilizations, right? Oh, so yeah, 10-20% cheaper cavalry archer units, 50% accuracy on trebuchets, and then on top of that, we also have for the team bonus 20% faster working stables. Can you even wall them on the slope? You know, I am not really sure. I think you might not be able to build on top of this rocky terrain. So maybe FreakinAndy felt safe over there, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm probably 75% sure. Not 100%. Hey, me as well. Use the kings to body block or no balls. All 3 at the same time. Looks like rock terrain blended over under something else. Yeah, and that changes. I think that's what changes the mechanic, right? I think when it's a rock terrain for the base terrain and then something else is blended over it, you cannot build, but the other way around, I think you can still build. But I'm not 100% that's the default behavior, but I think you can make it so that you can build or not build on whatever terrain you want, right? Just using the scripts. In any case, a little bit of a quick wall attempt over here from Eärnur is unable to get the villager walled over there. Now FreakinAndy is gonna walk away. The villager, and we see the fuel H over here from both players. FreakinAndy had a hit start to it. There we go. One of that would have the features of rocket terrain, the other one doesn't. I never remember which does what. Yeah. There's this guy, I don't remember his name, but he had a very large map with all the possible terrain combinations. And I remember from taking a look at that map that it's really hard. You cannot really tell visually when one terrain is on top or when one terrain is on the bottom, because it seems to just use a noise texture to define what you see from each terrain, right? So sometimes the terrain on top looks like you see more of the terrain on top, sometimes you see more of the terrain underneath. Have never opened it, but I know what you mean. Yeah, you might not need it. I think actually map scripters, maybe at the very beginning need them, but then afterwards you probably just experiment on your own. But it was very cool to see from a non-scripted perspective though. Anyway, Castle is gonna be here for FreakinAndy and Eärnur. Yeah, Eärnur is still about a minute 25 seconds away from the castle. She's behind in worker count. And for a change, unlike the previous two games, Eärnur is the one struggling the most for idle TC time over here. Which I wouldn't have expected at all. 4 TC actually is on the way for FreakinAndy on the left-hand side. Maybe I wouldn't, but so far it worked with just trial and error. It can be handy. The problem is that you cannot really have it and script at the same time because it's one thing or the other, right? I guess maybe if you had like a 8K screenshot of it, like an 8K map capture, maybe, you know, that'd be good, so you could have it open on an image viewer without having to use the editor because you do one thing or the other. I guess it's good as a catalog though. Anyway, let's get back into the game. 3 scouts over here from Eärnur. He's gonna get a villager down. Might end up getting more than one over here. He's trying to surround another villager, and that's going to be 2 going down for sure. And if he plays his cards right over here, might be able to get yet another one. But FreakinAndy's villagers volley the scouts away from the wood line. Meanwhile, on the right hand side, we have Knights coming in from FreakinAndy. He's got him 1 villager down. He's got another one. Going for another one as well. Now that he's got cavalry archers coming into the mix as well. That's going to make this army from FreakinAndy significantly stronger. Huns on this map want to go for cavalry archers. It's simply the superior unit once you get a good amount of units out. Once you get past critical mass. And because you start with triple TCs over here, economy is already in such a good spot by the time you get to the castle. I mean, take a look at that. FreakinAndy is on almost 100 villagers 15 minutes into the game. How good is that? It's really good. And he should be able to sustain not only triple archer range cavalry archer production, but potentially even quadruple archer range cavalry archer production. Meanwhile, Eärnur is gonna be banking on camels over here, which will die to CA. They attack faster for Hindustanis, but they are nothing special when it comes to armor. They're still going to be completely naked against Pierce armor. Against Pierce damage, sorry. Unless you go for the blacksmith upgrades, but that's only going to get you up to +2. And the cavalry archers, of course, we know they are extremely strong. Against chain, bard, and armor camels from the Castle Age, you need only 24 cavalry archers, if I'm not mistaken, to one-shot the unit. So if you get anywhere past 12 already, you're going to be able to two-shot the camels. And, you know, with triple or quadruple archer range cavalry archer production, it's not particularly difficult to get to those numbers. And you see, FreakinAndy's got 9 right now and 7 queued up, so that's going to go up to 12 cavalry archers right away, and he's already roaming around doing damage. He's got ballistics on the way. At this point in time, doesn't have thumb ring, which also makes a huge difference for these guys. But at the very least, he's gotten bloodlines already, which boosts the HP of these units by 40%. So he's able to kind of afford taking a few hits here and there. And still push the camels away. Now Eärnur's managed to catch up in worker count though. Especially if you consider FreakinAndy's idle economy. The few counter rates we see from the bull player are actually working out pretty nicely. And it seems like it's going to be just a full counter rate over here from Eärnur. And he'll go with the camels forward to try and get some damage done. And he'll probably just ignore these cavalry archers. If it weren't because of Hindustanis, Eärnur wouldn't be able to get away with this. Camels are not units to raid with. They're units to defend with, but because of 25% faster attacking from Hindustanis, he might actually be able to get something done here. And of course, he doesn't get access to knights at all. So he cannot really go for knights to try and fight the cavalry archers anyway. Well done. More camels on the way for Eärnur to defend himself with. The raid up in the north ends up taking a spearman and a villager over there. But FreakinAndy's paying attention. Oh! The kings! The kings! FreakinAndy! The camels are here! Is he paying attention? He's gotta pay attention, come on! Eärnur! Hello! He doesn't see the kings. He doesn't see the kings! So close! He could have spotted these units. And FreakinAndy, what is he doing? He's sending the kings down! Oh man, they get there just in time. These fatties are just so tanky. Take a look at that, 75 HP. In the end, one will go down. We'll still have two over here. But he's gotta be careful. Remember, with a good amount of camels, Eärnur might end up just YOLOing this one out, going after the TC, taking it down. He gets bonus damage against buildings with him to stand his camels. And then just go and snipe the kings. He could try. He could try, but he's not going to do it. He's gonna try and get a castle forward down the south. Not the best location for a castle. We have only full economy over here for FreakinAndy, which is not really relying on for the cavalry archer production. And especially after seeing the kings at the center, I would expect for him to go for a castle over here instead. But my lord, this is such an interesting game. Such an interesting game. In the end, Eärnur will get the castle over here. We'll try to get the castle over here. FreakinAndy's reaction is swift though, and he goes for his own counter castle. Eärnur is bringing camels over. Might be able to get a few villages down over here, but won't be able to deny this one whatsoever. And then up in the north, it seems like he's actually pushing the cavalry archers back. The numbers have not really gotten too high for FreakinAndy, despite producing from about 5 archer ranges. Actually, yeah, I thought that I saw 6 cavalry archer being produced over there at once. So production is strong for FreakinAndy. Doesn't seem to matter too much though. Eärnur's gotta be going after those kings. Do it, man. He's gotta. I feel like that's the only chance for the bull player in this position. Against cavalry archers, Hindustanis are simply not going to be strong enough, and eventually FreakinAndy, so long as the red player plays his cards right, will overpower Eärnur. So if the bull player can just manage to find it in himself to take the TCs down and snipe the kings, that'd be ideal. However, FreakinAndy right now, yeah, he's gonna be fine. Even if he loses this SC, he can garrison the kings over here. And I don't see any units coming out from Eärnur. He's gotta start going for some Gulam. He's got some, yes. The Gulam will be so much stronger as well. With much higher pierce armor, we could potentially see enough Gulam over here to go and snipe the kings. Even underneath fully garrisoned PCs, for instance. Does Gulam not work against cavalry archers? They do and don't. It's kind of like an Eagle Warrior situation. The cavalry archers will still obviously have the mobility advantage, and they can potentially clean up Gulams. It's just going to be very micro-intensive. I think in this kind of game, Gulam are good, because cavalry archers on triple TC start, they are just so much harder to make use of because they are kind of micro-intensive. So if you get a good amount of Gulam to put pressure against the cavalry archer, your opponent's going to suffer some way or the other. If they take down the Gulam by paying attention to the cavalry archers at all times, they're most likely not going to end up falling behind in some other regard, probably in economy. If they do not pay attention to the cavalry archers at all times, the Gulam do take them. So yes, they work. I would say for the most part in this situation they would work, yes, but they don't necessarily have to, if that makes sense. I don't know if I explain myself too well over there. Anyway, yeah, FreakinAndy's been struggling to keep the numbers high. And Eärnur, come on, man, go for petards, go for something, just put pressure, take the TC down, go after the kings. This is Regicide, you take the kings, you win the game. He knows where they are, he saw them, he took one already. It is just so hard to keep track of everything. When you're in the player's position over here, it's just so hard to keep track of everything. So hard to pay attention to all the things that are going on. I mean, now FreakinAndy's going for a castle drop up in the north. Yeah, roaming around with the cavalry archers, still raiding. And Eärnur seems to be saving resources to go up to the Imperial. I'm not the biggest fan of this. Not at all, especially when FreakinAndy is putting so much pressure. He's got the score lead over here. Who's a better player over here? If you are to believe Elo, FreakinAndy should be significantly favored. He's 2k4 and Eärnur is 2k. However, I mean, we're in game 5, aren't we? Eärnur's been able to match FreakinAndy this series so far. Nice defense with the camels up in the north. He'll be delaying this castle. Most likely, this is not going to be denied. Eventually, FreakinAndy will be able to clean these camels up and he'll finish the castle. But Eärnur is on his way to the Imperial Age. Yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know about this, man. It still doesn't seem too good, and it seems almost as if Eärnur was kind of giving up on a huge lead. Here we are. Up in the north, the castle comes up in the end for FreakinAndy. We have a second castle on the way. What a great game. Absolutely love it. Veteran's pretty good though. I mean, if he's able to keep the castle up and he's just gonna try and snipe the kings, I guess maybe access to trebuchets earlier would make sense, but he will need some units to actually take the kings down with, so he needs more Gulam. And he's not really producing much of anything right now, Eärnur is just going for villagers, man, and it just doesn't seem any good. If he can get imp camels, oh, he's miles away from imp camels. He's gotta get heavy camel riders first, then he's gotta go for imperial camels. Such an expensive upgrade as well. His economy is under a lot of pressure. I don't know. He could try. That'll be commendable for him to try and go for that. But yeah, he's going for the trebuchet first. But my lord, I want to see him use the trebuchet. He's got a castle down the south. I want to see him use the trebuchet to go after the kings. Take the kings down. You gotta take them. Now the castle, he just seems to be so fixed, so fixated in taking the south fortifications here. And it's not going to give him anything. It's not going to give him anything. He's gotta go for the king's knights. I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record here, but it's, in my opinion, the only way to go. FreakinAndy. Okay, well that is an awful trade for FreakinAndy, to be fair. He was not paying attention whatsoever. Hey, there we go. FreakinAndy's protecting the kings now. He's gone for a castle. He's built them a home. So we see the king's garrison on the left-hand side. And now Eärnur won't really be able to go after the TCs up over here. And what is the trebuchet, by the way? He's got 2. Up in the north? Oh, okay, so he was not going for trebuchets on the left-hand side whatsoever. So he's just kind of giving up on this castle now. Yeah. He didn't try to go for petards or gulams to take the rams over there. So I guess just gonna try to free his economy first. Eärnur is playing this very meta. He's playing this as if you could only win the game by conquest. So he's just going very systematically about it, getting to the Imperial Age earlier and just trying to free his economy first, and then he's gonna start thinking about pushing FreakinAndy back. But it didn't need to be that way. I have stated so many times how much stronger I think it would have been for him if he had gone forward. If he had tried to prioritize the kings, and he probably would have been able to take the game by now, I think, or at the very least he would have been able to prevent FreakinAndy from putting quite as much pressure, and he would have forced the red player into playing more defensive. But yeah, now FreakinAndy's got a heavy cavalry archer. He's got chemistry and bracer on the way. He's got a chain barden armor that he just finished researching as well, so the Tarkans are going to be stronger. I don't think he needs Tarkans. Against camels they are going to die, and we don't have any range units from Eärnur. I guess FreakinAndy will be able to better raid with Tarkans compared to cavalry archers, but against camels doesn't seem the best fit. How to go a matchup against CA? Oh, we talked about it quite a bit earlier in the game. It's almost the same as Eagle Warriors, basically. They will take the cavalry archer down if you're not paying attention. If you're paying attention, the cavalry archers can still take them down by kiting. because of the higher mobility. But on a game like this, where everything's so hectic, there is so much going on at all times, it's a little bit harder to keep track of the cavalry archers. We already saw FreakinAndy lose a significant amount to Eärnur's camels. So the Gulam, I would say, would probably be the better choice over here. Even if FreakinAndy struggles to pay attention sometimes, he's still in a much better position for overall KD. And for Eco KD, it's not even close. It's gonna be very soon 3-1 Eco KD. And you know what? FreakinAndy might be onto something here. He's got cap rams on the way. He's got into 200 population, so he cannot really go for it. But if he's able to take the TC down, for instance, he might actually be able to one. He might actually be the one able to king snipe Eärnur out of this game. We'll see. Gas comes up though for the role players, so FreakinAndy's got to bail from here in Eärnur. 134 pop versus 200 population. Definitely on the back foot and playing meta against a higher level player. A player 400 higher elo is always going to be risky, so Eärnur kind of, well, sealed his fate, so to say, over here. Sealed his fate. By the looks of it, anyway. FreakinAndy needs to rid of some of his own units so that the extra rounds can come out. There we go. Beautiful. This castle's going down for FreakinAndy pretty quickly. Good defense for Eärnur so far. He's just such a survivor. He's gonna get to 140 population, so slowly but surely he's going up. It's just so rough, man. It's just so rough. FreakinAndy is not only on 200 population, but he's pretty much locked at 200 population. He's got at this point in time 36, actually 47 units queued up. 46 units queued up, rather. Yeah, 46 units queued up. So you can lose a lot in terms of military over here. He'll still be on 200. Eärnur, too much. Fantastic. And the GG's coming out from Eärnur! He was getting close to 150 pop, he decides to call it. As we see FreakinAndy take the final game of the series. It's going to be a final score of 2 for Eärnur and 3 for FreakinAndy, who moves on to the next round. Meanwhile, Eärnur, on the other hand, he gets knocked out of the tournament. This is the lower bracket, so there are no extra chances over here anymore. Let's go through the achievements one more time. We'll see for military, a close to 3-to-2 KD ratio. We have for economy, a stronger economy for FreakinAndy as well by about 24,000 extra resources. In the end, the total worker count was very close for both these guys. However, Eärnur ended up losing just so many units over here. FreakinAndy was no stranger to villager losses himself, but he ended up losing 44 compared to Eärnur, who ended up losing 148. So well played. FreakinAndy moves on to the lower brackets semi-finals. Well, Eärnur gets knocked out.